All right, ready to unlock some serious social strategy. Because today we are diving deep into the world of power dynamics.
Fascinating stuff.
It really is. And let's be honest, sometimes it's a little bit unnerving.
Oh, absolutely.
So our guidebook for this journey, none other than Robert Greene's controversial masterpiece, The 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, and before anyone starts picturing themselves, as some kind of Machiavellian mastermind,
Right.
that's not our goal here. Our goal isn't to turn you into a power-hungry schemer.
Yeah, no villain origin stories here.
No, 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 no. It's about giving you the knowledge to decode those power dynamics that are always at play,
Always.
whether you realize it or not.
It's like getting that backstage pass.
Yes.
To how decisions are made, how influence is wielded, how to navigate those invisible currents that shape so much of our lives.
Precisely.
Right.
And Greene's book, as controversial as it is, it offers some strikingly insightful and sometimes even unsettling
Oh, yeah, for sure.
truths about how power operates in the real world.
Okay, so no villain origin stories,
No.
but maybe a crash course in recognizing those power plays before they knock us off our feet.
Yes, exactly. It's about awareness and agency.
I like that.
Just by understanding these laws, you're already equipping yourself to navigate the complexities of human interaction with more insight and, dare I say, a bit of strategic brilliance.
Ooh, strategic brilliance. I love that.
Yes.
Strategic brilliance over accidental blunders any day.
Any day.
So where do we even begin? What's the first law we're dissecting on this deep dive?
Well, since many of us navigate some sort of organizational structure in our lives, let's start with one that's particularly relevant to the corporate jungle law one. Never outshine the master.
Ooh, that one has some serious don't fly too close to the sun vibes, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And for a good reason. It speaks to that delicate balance between showcasing your ambition and inadvertently threatening those in positions of authority.
It's like that fine line between
Yes.
confidently owning your achievements and making sure you're not like stealing someone else's spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine you're in a meeting and you've got this brilliant idea. Now you could just blurt it out, potentially outshining your boss.
Right.
Or you could find a way to present it in a way that subtly elevates their authority while still showcasing your own initiative.
It's almost like you're playing a game of chess, like thinking several moves ahead,
Yes.
anticipating reactions and making sure your brilliance doesn't accidentally backfire.
Exactly. Strategic brilliance.
Yes.
It's about understanding the psychology of power. Recognizing that sometimes a more subtle approach can be far more effective in the long run.
Okay, so we're not dimming our shine, but maybe we're being a little more strategic with our spotlight.
Yes.
What's the next law that's essential for navigating the corporate jungle?
This one might sting a little, but it's a truth we all need to hear. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends.
Ouch. That one hits a little too close to home,
It does.
especially for those of us who consider our colleagues our friends.
Of course.
Right.
It's not about being cynical or distrustful of everyone around you. It's about acknowledging that even with genuine friendships, workplaces are ultimately driven by individual goals and ambitions.
So how do we navigate those waters?
Yeah.
How do we know when to let our guard down versus when to proceed with a little more caution?
It's about being discerning with your trust.
Okay.
Nurture genuine connections, absolutely.
Yeah.
But always be aware of the potential for those inevitable moments when personal and professional interests might clash.
So maybe it's less about never trusting our colleagues and more about being aware that those lines can get blurry sometimes.
Exactly. And being prepared for those moments.
Yeah.
You might have to make a tough call.
Right.
Based on what's best for you professionally, even if it means potentially ruffling some feathers.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about protecting yourself and your goals in a way that's not naive to the realities of those power dynamics.
Exactly. Now, there's one more law I want to highlight in this realm of office politics, and it's particularly relevant in today's world of specialization and expertise. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you.
Okay, this one definitely has the potential to go off the rails if we're not careful. Give us the ethical rundown.
Okay.
How do we make ourselves indispensable without turning into some power-hungry puppet master?
It's not about manipulation or control, but rather about cultivating a reputation as the go-to person, the problem solver, the one with the knowledge and skills that make everyone else's jobs a little bit easier.
So it's more about strategically building influence through genuine value.
Yes.
not by holding information hostage or creating unhealthy dependency.
Exactly. Think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine you're working on a project and you take the time to master a new software or develop a more efficient process. Now, you could hoard that knowledge, making yourself seem irreplaceable.
Right.
But you could also share your expertise, empowering your colleagues, and solidifying your reputation as a valuable team player.
Okay. So it's less about control and more about cultivating influence through genuine competence and generosity with your knowledge.
It's about playing the long game.
I like it. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a skill that's crucial in any arena of life, from the boardroom to our personal relationships, the art of persuasion.
Yes.
Ooh, yes, give us those persuasive power plays. I'm ready to become a master influencer.
All right.
Ethically speaking, of course.
Of course.
Where do we start?
Well, this first law might seem a little counterintuitive, but it's often the key to getting what you want without revealing your entire hand. Law 3. Conceal your intentions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. This sounds like a crash course in poker face and strategic ambiguity.
In a way it is. It's not about being deceitful,
Okay.
but rather understanding that sometimes revealing your true intentions too early can work against you.
So it's about picking your moments of vulnerability
Yes.
and carefully guarding your endgame.
Exactly. Imagine you're negotiating a raise. If you go in demanding a specific number right off the bat, you might limit your potential for negotiation.
Okay.
But if you hold your cards a little closer to the chest, expressing your value and subtly highlighting your accomplishments,
Right.
you create an opportunity to steer the conversation in a direction that's more favorable to you.
So instead of showing up with a PowerPoint presentation and a pie chart,
Right.
it's about planting those seeds strategically,
Yes.
letting your accomplishments speak for themselves, and allowing the other party to come to their own conclusions about your worth.
Precisely. It's about the art of subtlety,
Subtlety.
of guiding the conversation without revealing your entire hand too early in the game.
I'm starting to realize there's so much strategy involved in these seemingly effortless power moves.
There is.
It's all about thinking several steps ahead.
Yeah.
What other persuasion tactics does Green have up his sleeve?
Well, this next one might seem deceptively simple, but it's incredibly effective. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest.
Oh, I like this one already. It's about understanding that everyone, even the most altruistic among us,
Yes.
is motivated by something. We all have our own goals, our own desires.
Exactly. People are far more likely to help
Right.
if they see how it benefits them in some way. So instead of just listing off your needs, it's about framing your requests in a way that resonates with the other person's motivations.
It's like that saying, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
But in a more strategic, less self-serving way, right?
Precisely. Let's say you need a colleague's help on a project.
Okay.
Instead of just telling them what you need, you could frame it in a way that highlights how their contributions will not only help you,
Okay.
but also showcase their skills to higher-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Or contribute to a larger company goal they're passionate about.
It's about connecting the dots for them, showing them how helping you ultimately helps them achieve their own objectives.
Exactly. It's a subtle shift in perspective.
It is.
But it can make all the difference in getting that all-important yes.
Now, are you ready for a real head-scratcher? Let's talk about Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker.
Play a sucker. Okay, I'm officially intrigued.
Okay.
Lay it on us.
This law is about calculated vulnerability,
Okay.
about recognizing that sometimes appearing less intelligent
It.
or less aware than you actually are can work to your advantage.
So you're saying playing dumb can be strategic?
In certain situations, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a carefully crafted illusion.
Okay.
By appearing harmless or even a little clueless, you lull your opponent into a false sense of security, making them underestimate your true capabilities.
Interesting.
And when they least expect it, you can use that underestimation to your advantage.
That's fascinating.
It is.
So it's almost like a Trojan horse approach to power.
Yeah.
You come across as non-threatening.
Right.
But inside that seemingly harmless exterior is a brilliant strategist just waiting for the perfect moment to make their move.
Precisely. It's a high-risk, high-reward tactic.
It is. And definitely not for the faint of heart.
Right.
But when executed skillfully, it can be incredibly effective. Think about a historical example, like the Battle of Thermopylae.
Okay, history lesson time. Refresh my memory. What was the Battle of Thermopylae?
It was a battle during the Persian Wars,
Okay.
where a small force of Greeks, including 300 Spartans, held off a much larger Persian army.
Right. I remember that.
Okay.
It was a legendary last stand.
It was.
But how does that connect to this law of playing a sucker?
Well, the Spartans, led by King Leonidas,
Okay.
they knew they were vastly outnumbered.
Yeah.
So they chose a narrow pass at Thermopylae,
Yeah.
which limited the Persians' numerical advantage.
So they used the terrain to their advantage, essentially leveling the playing field.
Exactly. But they took it a step further.
Oh.
They used their knowledge of the terrain to create a choke point,
Okay.
essentially funneling the Persians into a killing zone.
So they played into the perception of weakness,
Yes.
allowing the Persians to believe they had the upper hand, while secretly orchestrating a strategic masterpiece.
Precisely.
Afai.
It's a classic example of how sometimes appearing less powerful can actually be the ultimate power move.
It makes you wonder how many people are out there playing this game without us even realizing it.
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? The subtle power plays happening all around us.
It is. It is.
But that's the beauty of understanding these laws.
Yeah.
It gives you a new lens
Right.
through which to view the world.
I like that.
Now, speaking of strategic maneuvering,
Okay.
let's dive into a section that's all about protecting yourself from those who might try to use these laws against you.
Right.
Self-preservation and strategic retreat. Sometimes the best offense is a solid defense.
Right. Sometimes it's less about going after the crown and more about protecting your neck. So how do we do that? Where do we even start?
When it comes to self-preservation,
Okay.
it all starts with a fundamental principle in the game of power,
Mhm.
one that's more relevant today than ever, Law 5. Guard your reputation.
Ooh, okay.
Think of it as the bedrock of your personal brand, your social currency.
Especially in this age of instant information and online scrutiny.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. One wrong move,
Oh, yeah.
one unfortunate tweet,
Right.
and it can feel like the whole world is watching.
It does.
Your reputation precedes you,
Mhm.
and it can be your greatest asset
Right.
or your biggest liability.
So how do we build that fortress around our reputation? Do we need, like, a team of PR professionals scrubbing our online presence 24/7?
It doesn't have to be that extreme.
Okay.
It starts with consistently demonstrating integrity
Okay.
and competence
Mhm.
in all your dealings.
Yeah.
Let your actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Be the kind of person known for their reliability,
Okay.
their work ethic, and their commitment to excellence.
So it's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But it's not just about what you do.
Okay.
It's also about how you handle those inevitable moments
Mhm.
when things don't go according to plan. And that's where the second part of guarding your reputation comes in.
Yeah.
Vigilance.
Okay, so be proactive in building a solid reputation,
Mhm.
but also be prepared to do damage control if needed.
Exactly. Be aware of what's being said about you,
Okay.
both online and offline,
Mhm.
and be ready to address any misinformation or slander
Right.
promptly and effectively.
Yeah.
Sometimes a well-crafted response or a calm, clear explanation
Right.
can make all the difference.
So it's like that saying, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Build a solid reputation, but also have a game plan for damage control, just in case.
Exactly.
What other defensive strategies does Green offer?
Well, this next one might seem counterintuitive,
Okay.
but it's about finding that sweet spot between protecting yourself
Okay.
and staying connected.
Okay.
Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Isolation is dangerous.
Okay. This is interesting. So we're talking about striking that balance between guarding our hearts
Yes.
and keeping those drawbridges lowered.
Yes,
Right. It makes sense, though.
it does.
If we're so busy building walls to keep everyone out,
Yes,
we might miss out on valuable alliances and connections.
precisely. Think about it.
Okay.
Who was more likely to survive and thrive? A lone wolf trying to navigate the wilderness alone,
Right.
or a pack looking out for each other,
Right.
sharing resources and strategizing together.
Okay. The pack metaphor is pretty spot on.
It is.
There's strength in numbers.
There is.
So how do we build that pack without falling into the trap of trusting the wrong people, especially, remembering Law 2 about being cautious with friends?
Right. That's where discernment comes in.
Okay.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who share your values, who have your back, and who you can trust to offer honest feedback, even when it's not easy to hear.
It's like that saying, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. But you could choose your work family.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're building a solid reputation, surrounding ourselves with the right people, and making sure we're not isolating ourselves in the process. What about those times when the best course of action is actually no action?
That brings us to Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Now, before you think we're advocating for burying your head in the sand, hear me out.
Okay.
This law is about recognizing that sometimes the most powerful response
Okay.
is strategic silence.
Ooh, I love that. It's about choosing your battles wisely.
Yes,
Not giving your energy to every single conflict or annoyance that comes your way.
exactly. Imagine you're dealing with a difficult coworker, someone who seems to thrive on drama and negativity.
Ugh.
You could engage in every argument, try to reason with them, or try to change their behavior.
Right.
But sometimes the most effective strategy is to simply disengage.
So it's about not letting their negativity bring you down to their level.
Exactly.
Not giving them the satisfaction of a reaction.
Precisely. It's about rising above the fray.
Yes. And focusing on what truly matters.
Right.
Not letting those little annoyances derail your focus or drain your energy.
It's like they say, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Okay, maybe not exactly the same context,
Right.
but the principle holds true. Sometimes silence is golden, right?
Exactly. Now, let's shift gears a bit
Yep.
and address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Or should I say the algorithm in the room?
Right, right,
Because no conversation about power dynamics would be complete
right.
without talking about the digital age.
Right. It's like this whole other dimension of social strategy has emerged.
Yes.
We're not just playing the game in our own circles anymore. It's true.
Yeah.
It's like the whole world's a stage.
It is.
And everyone's got a front row seat.
They do.
What does Green have to say about navigating this new landscape? Did he have any predictions about how social media would change things?
Well, he wrote the 48 Laws of Power
Right.
before social media exploded into what it is today.
Yeah. But many of the principles he outlines
Right.
are even more relevant now than ever.
Okay.
Take Law 6. Court attention at all costs, for instance.
Okay.
In the digital age, attention is currency.
It is. It's true.
The name of the game.
Think about influencers' viral marketing campaigns.
Yes.
Even just trying to get your voice heard in a sea of online opinions.
Yes.
It's all about capturing
It is
and monetizing attention.
exactly. The ability to command attention, to cut through the noise,
Right.
and be seen and heard
Yeah,
is a powerful form of influence.
it is.
But here's the thing. It's not just about getting attention.
Right.
It's about using it wisely.
Because there's a big difference between going viral for the right reasons and becoming infamous for all the wrong ones,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Huge difference.
What separates strategic attention seeking from just noise?
It all goes back to your goals and your values.
Okay.
What do you want to be known for? What message are you trying to amplify? It's about aligning your online presence with your values, your expertise, and the impact you want to make.
Okay. So less about chasing clout and more about cultivating a digital presence that's both authentically you
Yes,
and strategically aligned with your goals.
exactly.
What other laws have taken on a whole new meaning in the age of Instagram and TikTok?
Well, this next one might seem particularly relevant in a world of online personas and carefully curated feeds.
Right.
Law 10 recreate yourself.
Oh, yes. This one feels particularly relevant today, with so many people crafting these idealized versions of themselves online.
It is.
Is it all just smoke and mirrors, or is there a real power in digital reinvention?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
The online world offers incredible opportunities for self-expression and even reinvention. You can highlight different facets of your personality, connect with like-minded individuals, and even build entire careers around your online presence.
It's like you have more control over your narrative. You do.
Right. You can showcase your best self,
Yes.
your most interesting self,
Yeah.
the side of you that might not always shine through in everyday life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
It's important to strike a balance
Okay.
between crafting a compelling online persona and staying true to your core values.
Right.
Authenticity still matters,
Yeah.
even in the digital realm.
Right. Because at the end of the day, people can spot a fake from a mile away.
They can.
And if your entire online presence feels inauthentic or manufactured,
Right.
it can actually backfire,
It can.
making you seem less trustworthy, not more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot between putting your best foot forward and staying true to who you are at your core.
Right.
Because ultimately, true power comes from a place of authenticity.
I like that.
not artifice.
So we've covered a lot of ground. Navigating office politics, understanding the power of strategic silence, crafting your digital persona.
We have.
But here's the big question that keeps swirling in my mind.
Can you actually be both ethical
Yes.
and powerful?
Ah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It feels like it.
And it's the heart of our next section, the ethical tightrope. It's all about finding that balance between ambition and integrity.
It feels like we're talking about finding that sweet spot
Yes.
where our desire to make an impact
Right.
doesn't turn us into someone we don't recognize.
Yes.
Is that what this ethical tightrope is all about?
It is. It's about navigating those gray areas where the path to success isn't always clearly marked with ethical signposts.
Right.
It's about facing those moments where you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Do you take the easy road,
Right.
the one that might lead to a quick win,
Mm-hmm.
but compromise your values?
Right.
Or do you take the harder path,
Right.
the one that aligns with your integrity, even if it means a longer, more challenging journey?
It's like choosing between a shortcut and the scenic route.
Oh,
Right. The shortcut might get you there faster, but the scenic route is often where you discover those hidden gems,
yes.
those experiences that shape who you become.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Yes. And just like with those scenic routes, sometimes the most rewarding paths are the ones that challenge us to be our best selves.
Right. So how do we walk that ethical tightrope without, losing our balance?
Right.
Where do we even begin?
It all starts with self-awareness.
Okay.
Before you can even begin to navigate those ethical dilemmas,
Mm-hmm.
you need to define your own personal code of ethics.
Okay.
What are your non-negotiables?
Right.
What are those values you hold so dear that you'd be willing to walk away from a deal, a job, or even a relationship to uphold them?
It's like having that internal compass,
Yes.
that gut feeling that tells you when something doesn't feel right,
Yes.
even if you can't quite put your finger on why.
Exactly. It's about listening to that inner voice, that sense of integrity that guides your decisions,
Yeah.
even when no one else is watching. Because true power isn't about manipulating others or taking shortcuts.
Right.
It's about having the courage to do the right thing, even when it's hard.
It's about recognizing that real lasting success
Yes.
is built on a foundation of integrity,
Yes.
not just on a stack of wins,
Right.
no matter how impressive they might seem on the surface.
Exactly. Now, this doesn't mean you have to become some kind of ethical superhero,
Right.
always sacrificing your own needs for the greater good.
Right.
It's about finding that balance
Right.
between ambition and integrity,
Mm-hmm.
about using your influence to make a positive impact on the world, even in small ways.
So it's not about becoming a saint.
No.
It's about being a good human,
Yes.
a decent person who strives to make ethical choices, even when no one's giving out trophies for good behavior.
Know that. It's about recognizing that the most powerful legacy you can build
Mm-hmm.
is one of integrity and authenticity.
Okay, so we're clear on the importance of, knowing our values,
Yeah.
but how do we stay true to them?
Yeah.
When faced with those real-world dilemmas,
Yes.
those moments when the pressure is on
Right.
and the stakes are high,
Mhm.
any practical tips for, navigating those tricky situations?
Absolutely. One of the most effective strategies is to surround yourself with people
Okay.
who inspire you to be your best self.
Okay.
Seek out mentors, colleagues, or friends who share your commitment to ethical behavior.
Mm.
People who will not only celebrate your successes,
Yeah.
but also challenge you to think critically about your choices
Right.
and hold you accountable for your actions.
It's like having a personal board of advisors,
Yes,
people you trust to give you honest feedback, even when it's not easy to hear,
exactly. Because sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the game,
right?
to convince ourselves that a small compromise here or a white lie there won't really hurt anyone.
Right.
But having those trusted voices in your ear reminding you of your values and holding you to a higher standard can make all the difference.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who bring out the best version of you, who inspire you to be more ethical, more compassionate, more authentically you.
Exactly. Because ultimately, the greatest power we possess lies not in our ability to manipulate or control others,
Right.
but in our capacity for empathy, integrity, and genuine connection. Remember, you are already powerful.
What a fantastic note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today. From decoding power plays in the office to navigating the ethical dilemmas of the digital age, we've explored the art of persuasion, the importance of self-preservation, and the power of strategic silence.
We have. We've really delved into the nuances of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, and hopefully we've given you some valuable insights into how to apply those laws ethically and strategically in your own life.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this final thought. Power, in its truest form, is about more than just getting ahead. It's about making a positive impact on the world, uplifting those around us, and leaving a legacy we can be proud of. So go out there, use these insights wisely, and remember, the most powerful moves are often the ones rooted in authenticity, integrity, and a genuine desire to make a difference.